The CDC in Atlanta issued a nationwide call for any patients who were infected by contaminated off-the-shelf stem cell products.
To date, the CDC has identified at least 13 patients who were hospitalized by bacterial infections after receiving umbilical cord blood treatments.
Senior I-Team reporter Del Russell has been investigating off-the-shelf stem cell products for weeks now and traveled across the country, in fact, to find out what happened. Del?
Russ, it took a while to track this all down. Scientists call stem cell therapy one of the most promising fields of medicine, but this past December, the CDC reported that patients in 3 different states got sick. Some hospitalized, all hospitalized, but some for a month or more. And when stem cell products became contaminated, that's when it happened. So we set out to find what happened and why. On a cool winter morning, as the sun rises over Houston, Texas, Dr. Sammy Tao arrives at his chiropractic clinic. The Fox 5 I-Team was waiting for him.
I wanted to talk to you about the lawsuit.
What lawsuit? Who is Dr. Tao? And why were we in Houston? The Fox 5 I-Team has been investigating the marketing and sale of various off-the-shelf products sold to patients claiming to contain live stem cells. Doctors and chiropractors market these cryogenically frozen fluids from a donor mother's umbilical cord. They inject the fluid into a patient's back, knees, joints, promising to rejuvenate cells and eliminate pain. But there's one problem. CDC Dr. Krista Powell says those umbilical cord blood products are not approved for these types of injections.
What we're talking about are products that are illegally marketed, so products that are they don't have FDA approval, they are unapproved and unproven.
The CDC recently reported that at least 12 patients from 3 states were hospitalized because of an infection from contaminated stem cell products. Now, there were no reports of cases in Georgia, but we wanted to know what happened and why. So we traveled here to Houston, Texas to find out.
Can you tell me about the product that was injected in her?
I can't talk about anything. So.
Can you?
3 of those patients have sued Houston chiropractor Dr. Tao and his clinic for negligently injecting them with a stem cell product that was contaminated. In the lawsuit, Dr. Tao and the clinic deny the allegations and argue any damages were caused by the acts of other parties. Here's what happened. Late last year, state health departments in Texas and Florida discovered patients were getting sick after getting injections from doctors or chiropractors using an umbilical cord blood-derived product manufactured in California and distributed by Livion.
Livion stem cell therapy is the future of science, the future of medicinal technology.
This is Livion's slick website. In this press release, Livion announced a voluntary recall due to reported possible adverse reactions and immediately stopped buying the California product they sold. In response to the patient's lawsuit, Livion denied any wrongdoing.
At that point, we're concerned about product contamination.
So when the CDC learned patients were hospitalized, they put out a nationwide call for any more victims. The CDC identified, as of now, 13 patients who got sick after getting a stem cell injection.
Luckily, no patients died, but all of the patients required hospitalization, and some hospitalizations were quite lengthy. About half of the patients required hospitalization for at least 2 weeks, and one patient even required hospitalization for 2 months.
I had arthritis in my back, and I thought, well, stem cells would take care of it.
Dorothy O'Connell was one of those patients. We met her and her daughter in Houston. She says she had severe back pain. She turned to Dr. Tao's clinic for help, including stem cell injections. Following one set of injections, she got violently sick. Court records indicate she had acute kidney failure. She was life-flighted to a hospital for more acute care. Dorothy doesn't remember what happened next.
Okay.
Her daughter does.
What were you thinking watching all this unfold?
I know at one time we were going to lose her. I was horrified because I couldn't understand what was going on because she just had stem cells.
Court records showed Dorothy was hospitalized for 13 days, followed by 5 weeks in a rehabilitation hospital. She requires around-the-clock care at home. Her lawsuit claims the so-called stem cell injection was contaminated with bacteria.
When you're watching your mother that one day she's fine, only thing that's wrong with her is arthritis, and then the next day she's fixing to die.
Are you mad?
Yeah, I'm mad.
Now, the CDC's initial investigation suggested the contamination occurred during the manufacturing process. The FDA inspected and then warned the California manufacturer GeneTech for marketing stem cell products without FDA approval. And tomorrow we look at the question, are there really live stem cells in these stem cell products? One more to come.
All right, we look forward to the report. Thank you, Dale.
Thanks, Dale.